nigga be dropping me. Give it to the end, make a cheese, need a green bitch, please, motherfuckers ain't stopping me. Coming on the scene with the Tommy Hill, figure niggas there, what you got to make me rich. Never get the pussy cause it's off limits, hoe run the game when you're claiming it, other bitch. Gas up your head like a loving nigga, no loco, never go for the niggas on my dick. Pimp player, baby, little nigga, never spanking to the day I die, you ain't mad as a bitch. Niggas pimping hoes, hoes pimping niggas too, it's just a game to get it some bad as pocket for the cheese. Dollars to the buses, motherfuckers think I'm loving it, but I'm loving it.
So, this video is going to be about the HVX200 and the VX1000. And basically I'm just going to go over if this thing is going to become the new VX. So a lot of companies, filmers, skaters who like don't film but will buy one of these so that they can get their homies to film, will go out and like switch to this thing now, because it's honestly, in my opinion, the HD version of the VX1000. As you can see, like the similarities of these things, insane. Basically, the main thing that I want to talk about though is eventually will these cameras, the HVX200 Panasonic cameras, and the HPX170, I believe, will they become VX1000s? The footage is so similar to the VX. You can set your white balance and your colors to look super similar to what the VX looks like. A lot of people, myself included, when they use the VX, they like to set their colors orangey and warm and super raw looking and grungy. And you can get that same look with this camera. And I think that's a main reason, one of the main reasons why people have been switching to this thing. If you look at all the, bronze and hockey, FA, all those videos, all those newer videos that have been coming out within the last 3 to 4 years, Supreme, Mind Goblin, all the things that William Strobeck puts out. I think he has also been a key factor to this camera's popularity, and I think the more people pick up on it and the more people understand the potential that this camera has, I think eventually it will become the VX1000. I think that the features on this camera are too similar to look beyond and think, oh, that's just an HD camera, like that has no similarities to the VX. Like, honestly, I think this camera does a good job of getting that raw, grungy, crisp type feel to the camera, and it gives you that same feeling when you pull this camera out as it does when you pull this camera out. And I think people in the future will be, buying these and selling these and trying to fix these for parts. Like, people are already doing that, like these things will break and they'll strip their camera apart and literally like go in like a surgeon and fix it. And that's what I do with my VX. That's what people do with their VXs, and I think that's the same thing that in the future will happen with this thing, because again, like I said, it's so similar. Like the way that you can use it and like film with it is such a familiar feeling. Like, you have these little push buttons, and the VX has that as well. And you got your steady shot, and you got, just things that the VX would have, and it's made into this camera. Like, it's just made by Panasonic in an HD version. And there's similarities where if I take this fisheye off the VX and I put it onto this camera, you can get the same VIG. It's just going to be in HD. And I'll show an example here where if you zoom the VX footage in, you can match it and make it line up to what the HVX looks like when you zoom that footage in as well. The reason you have to zoom the footage in onto the HVX is because it's a full frame, it's widescreen 16:9, and it has all this dark black circular things in the frame. People call it VIG, and that VIG, that circle that's in the corners of the video, it'll look like you're new to filming. You don't really know what you're doing with it. When you have that same thing with the VX, the reason it doesn't look like that is because it's in 4:3 and you can't shoot in HD. You can't shoot in 16:9, and for that reason, it's already zoomed in. It already looks perfect. But if you do end up zooming that in, you can get the same look on the VX as you would with the HVX. It's just not going to look HD because this camera, obviously, the VX doesn't shoot in 720p or 1080p, which I think this thing only shoots in 720p. So this isn't even HD really. Like 720p isn't even HD anymore. Like that's not considered that. If you go on YouTube and you search and you put the little settings thing, you search, like 720p doesn't show up as HD anymore. It's only 1080p and up. And I think that's another reason why, is that it kind of still has that same, you know, muggy, gross feeling to it as the VX does. And I think that as time goes on, like I said, people are just going to be like, yo, I used to use the HVX. It's going to become a nostalgic thing, just like the VX is. I think people are going to, they're going to start searching for things that are more realistic. Because honestly, like, this camera is so old that it breaks. Like, you just turn it on and it breaks. And sometimes I get scared to put my battery in and turn it on because I'm afraid, like, will it turn on? Like, is it gonna work? And I think that's another reason why people will revert to this, because this is a very similar feel when you use this camera, when you handle up there, so that when you're filming you can get super close to your homies and stuff like that. And I think that that similarity and that familiar feeling is what keeps people going to this camera. Yeah, I don't know. I think that this camera will eventually become the VX. I think, as time goes on, trends come in and out. Bill Strobeck, he's really making this thing popular. Kids are looking at it and they're going, whoa, like, I want that camera. I want to be able to film like that. I want to super zoom into the guy's face and super zoom out on their feet, whatever. And I think that, the more it gets popularized, the more it gets loved and becomes a fan favorite, I think become the new norm. It'll become the VX, and then the VX will slowly become something of the past. I mean, I don't think the VX will ever die out necessarily. I think that there'll just be some lucky people out there who have VXs that don't break, that haven't broke, that are still kicking. Like this camera is 27 years old, like that's an old camera, and it's just becoming unrealistic. The parts that you got to find for this camera, the things that you got to do to, like, keep it in order, shipping it out to people on Instagram, like, hey, I need you to fix my camera, So, getting a call here. Yeah, that's just my 2 cents on that camera. My camera, my GoPro right now that I'm using is acting up, so I gotta end this video here. But if you enjoyed this and you want to hear more about this type of stuff, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. Yeah, thanks for watching.
To pull a scheme up on the tree. Got the whip and then I'm stepping at the door to a mistake killing bitch. MACTDOG got the town so ho, you know it's on. Violated this pimp and left a hole up in your fucking dome. Cheaped a couple of sex before we fell up on the killing site. Going through the back so we won't get picked up at a motion light. Dodging bullets, ducking and dabbing.